I used to have several sites. Now I kind of like the grower's edge. It gives me that cash max. You can tell it which markets you're looking for, and it will tell you what your highest net back is based on the price they're paying at that time and the basis that they're paying. And that's pretty handy because I don't have to go to so many different sites.
Good afternoon, welcome to GrainTV. My name is Cody Bills. Today is June 23rd. It's a Tuesday, and we had the market moving higher here again, with the exception of soybeans. When you turn over to the grain hedge trading platform, you'll notice soybeans traded up only a penny. Corn traded up 7.5 cents, and wheat in Chicago trading up 21.75 cents on the day. First of all, let's talk a little bit about the U.S. dollar index. You'll notice housing starts, that was up a little bit, kind of gave a little bit of support to the U.S. dollar index. When you look at the euro over there, they haven't really been able to finalize any sort of deals for the Greek bailout and the Greek debt situation, but there seems to continue to be positive tone over there that an agreement will be reached. Nonetheless, we did get a rally here in the U.S. dollar, and that really puts some pressure on the grains typically, but it didn't seem to have that sort of effect on wheat here today, which traded up very sharply. Let's take a quick look at some of these charts. You'll notice the charting landscape here for corn. You'll notice that we're able to kind of move higher here. The 100-day moving average still well above where we're trading. There is some resistance, overhead resistance, that trend line, that negative trend line, as well as the 100-day moving average right around that 379.5. So I do think corn could have a little bit of room here for a bounce, but keep in mind traders are really trying to position themselves for that June 30th crop report. So that June 30th crop report, I think it'll have an impact on corn, but more importantly, what really the traders are focusing on is what sort of impact on acreage are we going to see, what sort of revisions on acreage are we going to see for soybeans. Soybeans is behind planting pace now at this point, 90% planted as of Monday compared to 95 normally. So it is behind pace for planting. The moisture that we continue to get continues to keep producers out of the field and keep that crop from getting into the ground. So that is causing some concern and giving soybeans a little bit of a rally, especially when you take into account the weather that we've been getting. We've had a lot of good moisture here, but that moisture is putting a little bit of stress on the crops. We did see the eastern part of the grain belt, good to excellent ratings, decline substantially in the last crop progress report. So that is something that's being paid very close attention to by traders. Take a look at soybeans here. This is the July soybean chart. You'll notice that we are up above that downtrend line. We are up above the 100-day moving average. Yesterday we punched through that 100-day moving average, closed sharply above it. Today we kind of paused. We traded positive, we traded negative. In the end, we kind of traded, for the most part, about where we started the day. So I think it is important to pay attention to the fact that if we do pull back, this area that was acting as resistance last Thursday and Friday, this 974 support area, will now turn into support. We'll get that sort of role reversal. So it's going to be interesting to see how this pans out if we get a little bit of a negative trading day here tomorrow. When you look at wheat, I think wheat here had a very positive day. One reason why wheat was moving higher here, we had good demand numbers out this morning. Japanese Ministry of Agriculture had a tender to buy 114,000 metric tons of either U.S. or Canadian wheat. That's going to be food grade milling wheat. So that was positive. We also had Ethiopia initially buying 240,000 metric tons of wheat. That is still for optional origin, so we'll have to see who completes that tender. But Indian flour millers, India is a major consumer of wheat, and what we saw is earlier on this year we did see significant amounts of rain in that area, and that was causing some quality and protein concerns. And it looks as though India is now looking to Australia, purchasing or lining up purchases for 500,000 metric tons of wheat. And so that is really the largest of its kind. We haven't seen those sort of purchases from India. And so that is very significant. There is even rumor that there could be even further purchases for another 500,000 metric tons from France or even Russia. So those, I think that was impacting the wheat market. The fact that India here having some quality concerns from the miller perspective, having some protein concerns, and then of course the monsoon, which originally is being forecast at around 88% of normal. Anytime you go below 90, it's considered a drought year. So that could impact grains as well. Not so much wheat, but it could impact soybeans and corn. We'll have to stay tuned, keep a close watch on weather in India to see if that will have a further impact on price. Other than that, guys, that pretty much wraps up today's show. I know that trade is focusing on the planted acreage report. I think there is some focus on wheat right now. Just the fact that we are behind pace when it comes to harvest. We've only harvested 19%. Typically, we'd have around 31% harvested. We continue to get rain delays throughout the Midwest. We continue to have soggy fields, and not only that, but now we have this kind of explosion of this head scab that's causing significant quality concerns out there for the winter wheat in the U.S. So this is all putting pressure on wheat prices and kind of pushing them higher here. It's going to be interesting to see if we can get above that resistance level that has really been capping any sort of rally here. It almost has the feeling that we've been hammering out kind of a floor here, and maybe we'll get a little bit of a rally. I know there's a lot of short positions in wheat and in the grains in general, and going into that planting acreage report there on the 30th, we may get a little bit of a pop here from in the grain markets. Other than that, guys, that wraps up today's show. If you have any questions about what we talked about today, please give the office a call. The number is 877-472-4607. I look forward to hearing from you. Take care.